Hello, this is the LEGO Star Wars Rebel Combat Frigate. The pertinent numbers are over there in the video, so you can check that out. Let's get right into the details of the build and look of this thing. The front is a brand new print on this long existing part, so that's nice to get an exclusive print for that, and it looks pretty good, I'd say, and actually kind of merges in with the colors around it pretty well. These cannons on the sides are able to be rotated up and down, and you can see there's a spring-loaded shooter that's integrated in there, so you can actually fire from this thing. And if you don't like the looks of those sticking out or whatever, you can just leave them out, and I think it still looks fine. Everything else that looks like a design of some sort applied to the bricks is just stickers, but there aren't too many of those. There's a fair amount of greebling, random little parts put on. Not really random so much though. They're done for a purpose. If you compare this to the actual ship in universe as seen in the Star Wars Rebels show, it's pretty good with its proportions overall, but some of the positions of some of the colors and some of the shapes that they made I think aren't ideal. These are also cannons that can be turned around, and these just have the little stud shooters on them that you can fire off. They give you a couple of extra studs for each of these, and it works just fine. This is intended to be the airlock section there, and there's your command tower, which is actually fairly small. When you look at this relative to a figure, it just shows you the scale of the thing. It's really small in scale, and for just a little bit more context, here's another ship from that same universe displayed next to it for relative scale. No camera tricks or anything. These are directly side by side. Similar lengths, actually. There's a lot more bulk from the old Ghost. One of the nicer things about the build here, and pretty much its main feature, thing that it will do, is that the kind of winglets out here, these sections, are able to be folded in, and there's actually a geared mechanism to cause that to happen. You turn the center engine here, and both of those will come in. And that's exactly what it's supposed to do. That looks nice when it's folded up. Again, with kind of the positions of some of the colors, where the banding, the striping isn't completely ideal. These are also kind of hollow in the back, but they don't really need to have anything back there. It's not like you'd have any play features involved there. These are just basically your impulse engines that are able to fold out when it's in direct combat, so it gets more maneuverability there, more leverage from the side, so it can turn more quickly. When it's going through hyperspace, you want to have it like this. There is interior detail in this thing, and you can just remove all of this in the front to get access to that area. It's basically divided into two sections, so you've got kind of a command bridge here, and figures do have to sit down if you want them to fit on the inside. Of course, with the roof removed like this, you can have them standing, but you can have one sitting there, one sitting on either side here, including the ability to fit Chopper in there, so you can actually kind of be stowed away there when you're not using the whole thing. It gives you some place to just keep your figures without having them outside. A little bit of storage for an extra bolt there. You could also put a couple of weapons clipped up on the wall there, and then this is the other area up towards the front. So one more figure can sit there, and both of those little consoles just use stickers. There's also a handle built into this, which is pretty convenient, and I think it's kind of a nice treat that LEGO does this on a relatively large ship, so you can actually fly it around. And you get good control because it's very close to the center of gravity. It's just a little bit behind it, but yeah, you get good control, and then you can operate with your free hand the cannons and shooting the spring-loaded shooters if you want to. So it makes this big thing pretty swishable, and it looks decent from the underside too, if you ever lift it up, because it does have some areas that have studs on the bottom, which I think looks so much better than the undersides of plates. The figure selection in this set features a brand new grown-up Ahsoka here, which is a great one to get. I do wish that the eyes had a little bit more depth to them though. I feel like the character as seen in the show had eyes that didn't look like they were looking through you quite so much. That almost looks a little bit possessed. The coolest thing to me, parts-wise, in this entire set, for me, is the inclusion of two of these lightsaber blades in trans medium blue. See, this is your regular trans light blue here on the right. This is trans medium blue, the less common color. It's a little bit closer to a purple side, whereas this is actually closer to a green. It's a cyan. So getting those for the first time, really nice to see. It's got the angled or kind of bent hilts there, and they did a really good job with the headgear. Just the painting on it looks phenomenal. It's and the edges are, you know, nice and well defined, and the saturation and the darkness of the dark blue is really good. And then here is just the pre-existing version of Ezra and Commander Sato. I'm so happy to get a Commander Sato official figure, and I'm so creeped out by that Commander Sato face. It looks wooden to me. It looks like the cheeks aren't defined quite well enough. It needed a darker color for the cheekbone lines. I don't know, that's just not working for me. This face, probably the closest match that they have, that Lego has, to the skin tone, but I don't like it. It really is kind of creeping me out. And then there's Agent Callus over here, which I think is a good version of him with the prints and the headgear. I mean, the prints on the side of the helmet there are really nice. The molding is nice. Got printing around the back of the helmet, and there are some alternate faces. And I think with the exception of Ezra here, I like these alternate faces better than the ones that I showed you at first. Just a lot more personality and just a lot more life on especially the ones that looked a little bit deadish to me at first. And there's also just a little bit more that you can see from the fronts and around the sides with the headgear removed. Lastly, they include a chopper in this set, and this is a figure or build that I have warmed to quite a bit, probably more than I have to the actual character in the show, but it's a pretty nicely done figure, and just well built and well proportioned. Nice, you know, the actual print that's used for the 2x2 round brick with the Technic holes and the short legs. It's good. For me, the highlight of this set is the Ahsoka figure and her accessories. The ship itself is well built. It feels like it is pretty strong. It'll hold itself together. The action features are nicely integrated. You can forget about them if you want to, but they do their job and they look good for what they are. For its size, the thing has a good amount of usable interior space. That said, that size is relatively small, especially for the price. Now, the price to part ratio is perfectly fine. No issues there. But as time goes by, Lego just continues to put more small details into things. They are going for stronger and stronger builds that are more durable, that will last longer, fully assembled. And as a result, you just get more density to the sets with more smaller parts, more bracing pieces, more connectors for those bracing pieces on the inside that you don't really get to see and enjoy, except for the fact that the thing doesn't fall apart easily at all. But just what you see on display, what you get to hold in your hands, is a fairly small thing, and I have a little bit of trouble just mentally connecting the price of this, at least its initial retail price, to the overall size. So now you've seen the set and you've heard my thoughts, and it is your turn to share your thoughts, what you think about the set, what you think about the figure selection included here as well, and the overall value of the whole thing together. I look forward to your feedback and seeing what you think about it. Share your thoughts in the comments, and I'll talk to you again soon.